Welcome to Gridiron 816, Kansas City's home of unadulterated Chiefs football commentary and other news surrounding the NFL. This is Benny speaking in our first ever inaugural episode of Gridiron 816, and to my left is Miles and to his left is David, your three hosts of Gridiron 816. Obviously, this is our first episode, so there's a chance you're wondering who we are, what we do, what we want to make out of Gridiron 816. Well, first, we want to go around and introduce ourselves. So, I'm Benny. I only started watching football a few years ago. These guys always really wanted me to watch it until one year, a guy named Patrick Mahomes came onto the team. I promise I didn't join the hype train. Definitely was there for the preseason. But, a lot of people will definitely say that. Let me shoot it to Miles here.
Yes, my name is Miles. I've been watching football as long as I can remember. I've always been a Chiefs fan from Kansas City. I played 1 year of middle school football, so I don't have a ton of experience on the football field, but I love to play catch, and I can watch football all day long. That is no problem. And to my left is my good buddy, Dave O'Brien.
Hello. I played football for about 10 years in my younger days, and we're totally excited. Ben did board the hype train. Ben was lying about that. And then, we're super excited.
All right, so let's first off get right into it. Week 1 recaps. First thing I actually want to ask is, what were our expectations for Week 1? What did we want to see especially, and what didn't we see? And then, of course, what did we see that was unexpected? We can just get right into that.
I will say I had very high expectations for the Chiefs, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Coming into the season, I totally thought we were going to spank Houston. Like we did, that score was a lot closer than the game was. That was a butt-whooping of the highest degree. I was super, super, super proud. I was actually really surprised at the quality of play this whole week by all the teams in the NFL. A lot of people thought they were going to start slow just because there wasn't a lot of training camp or any preseason.
Preseason, right.
So, it was super, super exciting. I'm just glad it's back.
Yeah, that's what I heard a lot of the announcers saying that. It's just like they couldn't believe how full swing it was without all the preseason games. And then I was expecting, the Saints to come out strong, just the last endings, the past couple endings to their seasons hasn't been that great. So, of course, they want to come out strong and forget about that as soon as they can. And, of course, about the Chiefs and the Super Bowl champions. I was also expecting the 49ers to get off to a great start, though, and we'll get into that. That didn't really happen the other day.
For sure. All right, I think we should get into the games this week.
Right into the games. Okay, well, first off, we do have, obviously, we want to start with Chiefs-Texans.
Of course.
We have 34-20. You already know.
Final score, baby.
Right.
All right. I am just going to say first off the bat, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Of course.
Let's give that guy a round of applause here in Kansas City. This guy showed up for his first game in the NFL, leading the league in rushing. That is no small task, so that is very, very nice to see out of the young guy.
Of course, never, yeah.
I think one thing that when he got his number 25, I was like, he needs to earn that 25. Because we've had a great running back wear that number in Kansas City before.
For sure.
And so far he's earning it.
Oh, yeah. I saw same old Andy Reid in that game, for sure. There was some very nice, intricate play call going on, especially on that.
4th and close.
Oh, yeah. 4th and close. There's like a 99% chance, I would say, if it's about 4th and 3 or
on that
closer.
Second drive.
Oh, for sure.
I want to talk about that second drive, and especially with Andy Reid's playmaking decisions and just how much, another thing with expectations, just seeing how much the Chiefs, how explosive their offense is. It was almost just watching them last year and, nothing changed. Of course, with Edwards-Helaire, it's just even more explosive.
Oh, yeah. And I liked what we saw from Snead as well. He had an interception in his first game and a couple of pass breakups. So that's always what you want to see in your defense. How about the Texans?
Yeah, it was just like, where was J.J. Watt? And they were obviously missing Hopkins on offense.
That's a big hole.
Very obvious. And, it was just really offense. And Watson had an all right game. But yeah,
Still-
overall couldn't click.
Still proves very, very mobile. Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah.
Super crazy.
Yeah,
You'll
great
have
quarterback.
to see if Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller and Kenny Stills can kind of fill that void.
Yep.
Hopkins is
We
left
shall
in,
see.
in that offense.
Great game.
Oh, yeah,
great,
definitely.
great
result.
result to the season for you.
for sure.
Let's talk about Jets and Bills. So
Jets, Bills.
Bills winning 27-17. What do we want to talk about here?
Well, Adam Gase is not a great coach, and I'll say that right off the bat. Adam, I saw someone say, I forgot who it was, but he said if my son had a little league team, I would not let Adam Gase coach
that is a
little league
powerful.
team. And then, but obviously, not off to a great start for the Jets.
I was excited to see Stephon Diggs in his first game in a Bills uniform.
Yeah, played well.
Played well. Yep, he had I believe 80 yards in his debut, at least 80 yards receiving. So that's always good to see. And Frank Gore is in his new Gotham green up there in New York with the Jets. So that's exciting to see as well. Josh Allen is also still mobile. Mobile, also, as we know, the guy. It can cost you in a game, like we saw. He fumbled there. It definitely
Weren't
weren't
that many quarterbacks to go over 300 yards this week? So that's nice that he did.
right. Good game.
Yeah, definitely. We have Packers Vikings here. I think this is one we definitely want to talk about.
Super
we have
exciting.
43-34 Packers.
Score fest.
Yes, of course.
Aaron Rodgers looking like vintage.
Amazing
Aaron Rodgers
performance.
in that game.
Yeah.
Especially for the week one.
Slinging it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah.
I have an early prediction actually this year. I think Devontae Adams, you can mark it down. He is an all-pro already just in week one.
And then my early prediction is that the Packers will win the NFC this year.
I like that.
It's bold, but hey, it's not too
Yep,
far.
and then,
yeah, of course.
Here's what I'll say about the Vikings.
Yeah,
just,
go for it.
Just real quick. I just don't think Kirk Cousins is the answer. Ever since he got there in Minnesota, I don't think
Yeah,
that
it's just
guy's
like
gonna win you games.
You know, as Chiefs fans, we absolutely loved Alex Smith, and it felt like he took us to new, greater lengths, and but it always felt like we needed something just a little bit more, and I imagine that Vikings fans are feeling something very similar to that,
sure.
loving their quarterback and knowing that their quarterback, Kirk Cousins, is a great quarterback, but he is not the answer right now. For
Right,
that
they
team.
have an incredible defense, and their weapons on offense are incredible. You'd like to see what Patrick Mahomes might be able to do with Adam Thielen and guys like that.
And that was the other thing, how, he's so lucky that he does have Adam Thielen now that Stephon Diggs is gone. So, if he didn't have Adam Thielen, what are the other stats on the receiving for those? Not great. I mean, Adam Thielen by a long shot,
led their team.
So yeah, he needs more targets, obviously, yeah.
Devontae Adams had 156 yards on 14 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Yep, that's my prediction. This guy's an all-pro.
There you go, yeah.
Good game.
All right. So next one we want to get into here is going to be the Eagles versus the Washington football
The
team.
newfangled
All
Washington
right.
football
Of course,
team.
yes.
Starting with a
their insane
win.
W logo.
Starting with a win.
27-17.
I guess that must be what that W stands for, huh?
Yeah. What do we think of it, guys?
It's a comeback.
It's awesome. I think it's a great start, obviously, for Washington.
Yeah.
As an Ohio State fan, I love seeing Dwayne Haskins succeed, and I hope he continues to succeed.
I feel so bad for Eagles fans. And I know they just came off of a Super Bowl relatively recently, but the struggles that they've had with
Since then.
with
really.
Carson Wentz and their fans. I know East Coast fans are not the most forgiving out there in Philadelphia, and I know that can probably be very tough for a quarterback in that city. So I just hope he can win games, but I just don't think his career might just not be where he needs to be is just in Philadelphia. It might be somewhere else where he can succeed and maybe win more football games.
Yep, absolutely. Montez Sweat needed to show up a little bit more the other day, but obviously the defense played well. Obviously, we'll probably see more Montez Sweat in the near future.
Didn't look like they missed Darius Geis, who was actually released off of the football team due to a domestic incident recently before the season had started. So we'll see how they can and fare in the NFC East with the Cowboys and the Eagles. They already got a division win out of the way, so that is something that you like to see.
Pick right there to win that division.
Washington football team, I'm still sticking with the Eagles, I think. I think that even though it's week 1, so there's still 16 games, 15 games left.
Yeah. Yo, I don't think they'll win the division either. I think it'll be the Cowboys or the... Who did you say? The Eagles?
The Eagles.
Yeah, Cowboys or the Eagles, probably.
All right, next game we actually want to get into here is the Colts versus the Jaguars. Jaguars took a win on top of it this week.
How about
Phillip Rivers' debut.
Duvall? That was something. Vintage Phillip Rivers, too, throwing a pick in a very tense situation late in the fourth quarter.
And also throwing for a lot of yards. That is staple. Phillip Rivers throwing for a lot of yards, but throwing a couple picks wise.
Yeah.
Let's give a round of applause to Gardner Minshew. Had one incomplete
pass, a near perfect game for Gardner Minshew.
Insane. 3 touchdowns. Deserve that win. And
it's just a fun game.
Everyone said that the Jags were going to tank the season. It's crazy to see them come out with a W. That's what I was hearing.
Right, yeah. These are actually they're 2 interesting teams to talk about. How do we think both of these are going to do throughout the year?
I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy to see the Colts go with Rivers when they had
Jacoby. I couldn't see very good, to be honest.
Yeah, Jacoby just wasn't clicking. It didn't seem like Jacoby's a great quarterback. He just wasn't clicking with that squad.
How about the Jaguars?
I was liking to see. I was just looking at the Sunday their receiving core. I did not notice that Chris Conley, former Chief, had departed the squad, so I was a little upset to see that.
Oh, did he?
He did. He is not. I didn't see him on Sunday. He might be on the practice squad. I'm not entirely sure. Not the biggest Jags fan.
Yeah,
but I like who they have. I think they might actually be a spoiler to win that division. Houston's off. They are 0-1, and so is the Colts. So Jacksonville has set themselves up for early success this season.
Oh, yeah. So let's get into our 6th game here. We have the Browns-Ravens. I think this is one that we can talk about.
That was a spanking.
A little bit. Obviously, Baker Mayfield, nothing short of my personal expectations. Never really been impressed with them. Not going to at the start of this season.
Almost 20 incomplete passes. An interception while he was at it.
Only 189 yards. Kareem Hunt.
And then you compare this.
Former Chief led the Browns in rushing that day. That might be, a bright spot.
Really?
If you're a Browns fan.
With 72
and a Kareem
yards.
Hunt fan.
They need to feed him more. Obviously, they know what he did in Kansas City, and I think they just need to feed him more. But I actually like Nick Chubb a little bit more in Cleveland.
Right. Yeah, obviously.
Odell Beckham Jr. looking like Baker and him haven't really clicked, and they've been together for a little while now. They've had some time to
very under expectation.
To get on the same page,
right.
Exactly. And they have Jarvis Landry too. That's an offense with, if they had a little bit better, maybe, I don't know what it is, maybe coaching staff.
You want
quarterback play.
They have to do good.
They could be the powerhouse in the AFC North. It's just vintage Browns.
It just
losing by that many, and
it's just you got it. It's the Browns.
You feel bad.
Why not?
You feel bad for Cleveland. Lamar Jackson.
I mean, let's talk about comparing that to Baker Mayfield.
To the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. I had him in my fantasy, and you gotta look to that guy in fantasy. He was 20 for 25, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran all over the place, as you expect from this guy, probably the best mobile quarterback you've ever seen in the league. Their offense is scary, too. They have Marquise Hollywood Brown. He got over 100 yards in this game, averaging 20 yards a catch. He's just biting off big chunks of yards every week. Scary team. I picked them to face off with the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship this year. It'll be a good game.
And got to give credit to that Baltimore defense, too.
They're insane. Good game.
Good game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So let's get into Raiders-Panthers.
Oh, I have a lot to talk about.
Lots to talk about with the Raiders.
Lots of firsts for this game.
First
Las
game.
Vegas, Matt Rule, Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
yeah. Robbie Anderson. A lot of firsts
in
this
game.
And it was a good game.
It was.
Do we think the Raiders will look like this more?
I was actually going to say...
and do we think the Panthers' defense will look like
this more? I personally don't think that the Raiders have that insane of a schedule. I was looking at it earlier, and it's not that insane. Like, if we had that schedule, I would be guessing that we could go undefeated. Except they play the Saints, which will probably be their hardest game of the year. Well, never mind. Chiefs will be the hardest game for them, but they do have to go through the Saints.
Right. Yeah.
I think that this is definitely an outlier game for the Raiders. I don't think they'll score averaging at least. They scored 34 points in this game. I don't think they'll score above 30 in any of their other games. They just kind of Josh Jacobs just had a day. Almost was the reason I lost in fantasy. Had 3 touchdowns. Just ran all over the Panthers. I was really, really, really surprised late in the game by the decision of head coach Matt Rule of the Panthers on 4th down, running the ball to your fullback when you have Christian McCaffrey, who is just, insane.
Yeah, we were talking about that a couple days ago when we talked about a couple teams. We can see that being all right, but you have Christian McCaffrey given the ball.
Right,
might as well give
in that
him
situation,
the ball.
you have to give him the ball.
It was like the 2 previous plays, right?
Right.
Were like
just chunk
gold.
plays, right?
Yeah.
By McCaffrey.
Yeah.
You got to keep feeding that guy.
Yeah.
But so that's why I think the Raiders really didn't win this game. I think the Panthers gave it away.
Right.
They gave it away to the Raiders.
It does make sense to say that. I agree.
But I do think here's another early prediction. I think the Raiders will be the runner-up though in the AFC West this year.
Yep, and I think the Panthers could be the runner-up in that
division. For sure.
Maybe
NFC South.
Definitely, yeah. Next game we can look at
right behind the Saints. I should have said that.
Right.
So we can look at the Bears versus the Lions. So 27-3, a close game. One of the closer games we've looked at so far.
I'd just like to say Mitch Trubisky just looked like garbage in the first half. Like we expected him to come out and look, but it was crazy to see him late in this game kind of rally for 3 touchdowns and prove why he should be the starter going forward. We'll see. I mean, it's kind of a week-to-week thing with the Chicago Bears quarterback situation. Always kind of has been.
Yeah. Just like what you said on the last game, it was kind of more one team handing the other team the win. The Lions they should have won that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift just dropped a perfect pass by Matthew Stafford in the end zone.
And I think Matt Patricia is a good coach, but I think what Andy Reid was accused of a few years ago, he just has horrible time management.
Clock management,
yeah.
Just not on their side, not on Mr. Matt Patricia's side.
Yeah.
Let's see. Top performers in this game, got to look at Danny Amendola had 81 yards receiving for the Detroit Lions. AP in his new uniform up there in Detroit all day, 28, back in his old
almost 100 yards.
Looking good, vintage all day. So Anthony Miller led the Bears in receiving with 76 yards. Looking good. Jimmy Graham's also in a new uniform there in the Meadowland, or excuse me, in the Midway. Monsters of the Midway, the Chicago Bears. So it was a good game, relatively low scoring. We'll see going forward. I don't know. I'm a fan of Nick Foles, so I hope to see Nick Foles playing and starting some games for the Chicago Bears this year. I think they might have a better chance of winning more games with that guy. But that's about all I have to say about that one.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
They kind of gave that one away.
Yep. Disappointing.
All right, so how about the Seahawks and the Falcons? So we have 38-25.
I will also
Seahawks.
say, very similar to like the Chiefs game. This one, it's a lot closer on the scoreboard than it would show because the Seahawks just obliterated the Falcons in this game.
Yeah,
Falcons scored some late touchdowns to make that score a little bit closer.
Yep, not an amazing first game for Todd Gurley in Atlanta, but I think he has the ability to do great things there
for sure.
Only 56 yards, and then
I think DK Metcalf, he is a fantasy lock. I was upset not to actually get him in the fantasy draft this year. He is an absolute gamer for Seattle. Had only 4 receptions, but they went for 95 yards and a touchdown, averaging 23 yards per catch. It's pretty crazy.
He is a beast. He had such a awesome combine last year, and I was just shocked when he dropped to the second round.
Yeah,
and all those teams are now.
You can tell he uses that as motivation every week.
Yep.
You can also talk about their defense. Jamal Adams We have 8 tackles. We had a sack today.
And he had a great game in his new uniform. Also, Russell Wilson, unbelievable accuracy, going 31 of 35 passes.
322 passing yards, 4 touchdowns.
Looking like vintage Russ.
Regular Russell Wilson stats.
Danger Russ Wilson.
Yeah.
All I have to say about this game also, those Falcons uniforms are trash. I am not a fan. They should go back to their old uniforms.
Looks like the XFL material.
They look like the Texas Tech Red Raiders out there.
Yeah.
Not good. Not a good look, Atlanta.
Right. Looks like a made-up Madden.
0-1 in those
Seahawks
uniforms.
are going to be good this year, of course.
I think they might win that division for sure. I don't think the 49ers will repeat as champions in the NFC West.
This was a
division rivalry team or a game. We have Dolphins, Patriots, 11-21. We want to talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick versus Cam Newton, obviously, how they did, how it compares especially to Tom Brady with the new offense.
I went in looking to see the Dolphins win this game just because I am such a big Chiefs fan and I am not a Patriots fan in the least. They knocked them off late in the year last year.
It had been a thing to see.
To benefit the Chiefs in the playoff seedings, I was just looking for them to win. It was a close game, which is nice to see. Not, the Patriots not blow anybody out, looking like world beaters coming out like they normally do. They look kind of pedestrian, so it's good to see that.
Yeah,
sure.
it was. I watched it. It was kind of a boring first half.
You see the Patriots not score in their first quarter.
Yeah,
right?
The really only exciting parts were the 2 Cam touchdowns, and other than that, it was a pretty plain game. We were also discussing that I personally think it's a good idea what they're doing with Tua on Miami. In Miami, sitting him, probably trying to get a similar effect of what we did with Pat Mahomes here, watching Alex Smith for a year. Do I think that he will sit for the whole year? Probably not.
Probably might be week 7, 8.
If Fitzmagic truly shows his Fitzmagic, then I'm sure Tua will come in shortly.
I think the Patriots Cam Newton needs to target Julian Edelman a little more. He only had 5 receptions in that game for 57 yards. I don't think that's going to be something that's going to remain for the rest of the season. Obviously, that's going to pick up as they go along and get a little bit more comfortable with each other. So,
I think while we're here, we can talk about how we think the Patriots are going to do with Cam Newton.
For sure.
Yeah, if they really will be just the monster that they are of the AFC.
As an
I
optimist,
think the Bills are going to win that division.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. I think the Bills will win that division. As an optimist, you hope so. Bill Belichick will be Bill Belichick, though. He can always get something out of his defenses late in the year to provide a push. So
right, do we think the Patriots defense is going to be the same?
Exactly.
Well, the Patriots defense did look good. They looked really good.
Stephon Gilmore
had a good game. Yeah. But also I think at this point in Cam Newton's career, I think where he is, I think Josh Allen is a better quarterback, I think.
From where they were.
I think right now, I think Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Cam. Not better than Cam Newton in 2015, but I think right now, I think Josh Allen is the better quarterback, and I think they're going to win that division.
It'll be really fun to see those guys go head-to-head because they're both mobile. It'll be a really fun game to see them just both running roughshod against each other's defense. That'll be really fun to look at. Good game.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Fun to watch. And there was some chain snatching at the end of that game. Forgot to mention there was a little bit of drama at the end of that game with Dolphins players trying to snatch Super Cam's chains.
Oh,
you got a little butthurt about that. It's fun to watch. I suggest you take a look at that.
Wow, okay. Chargers Bengals. We have 16-13. Another close one, low scoring.
Tyrod Taylor's first game at the Chargers
in a while. First
start in a while, yeah. And he played all right. He played as Tyrod Taylor normally would. And
smoking Joe Burrow's first game in the NFL, first overall pick.
Threw a pick
as the first pick.
And they should have tied it there at the end. And
that field goal kicker
could have won.
You guys see that field goal kicker faked an injury and was trying to pick which leg.
Yeah.
Forgot which leg he was faking the injury. It was pretty funny. I thought it was funny. It was really low scoring game. I definitely think Joe Burrow will get better. They might be the favorite to win that division. Pittsburgh looks really good. I will say their defense looks very, very good. But Cincinnati might make the wild card actually.
I do not think Cincinnati's going to be good this year.
All right.
Yeah, I do. I think the exact opposite. I think they're going to be exactly what they were last year. I think the Steelers are going to win that division.
Melvin Ingram.
I really think the Ravens are going to do better than the Steelers.
I don't know. The Ravens are going to win the division.
Yes, the Ravens.
I almost had to think to myself, are Ravens not in the same division as the Bengals right now?
Okay, that was a little bit of a misspokenness by us here.
Oh, yes.
Melvin Ingram had an interception on the shovel pass thrown by Joe Burrow. He was pretty cocky coming off the field in that game, insinuating that they can pull up and get things done in other houses in the NFL. We'll see. You got the Chiefs week 2, Los Angeles, so look out. And that'll be the second game ever played at SoFi Stadium. The Chargers' first game at SoFi Stadium.
Right,
and it'll be nice to see the Chiefs throw some touchdown passes 100 feet underground.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
All right, so next we're going to have the Cardinals and 49ers. Cardinals pulling out a win this week.
Pretty surprising.
Very surprising.
Yeah,
the Cardinals did
Super
not
Bowl
have
champ or Super Bowl runner-ups returning.
Yep. Cardinals did not have a great year last year. Kyler Murray got Rookie of the Year, right? He got offensive Rookie of the Year over Josh Jacobs. Kind of controversial to me, but yeah, a very, very shocking outcome. And who knows, will this be what it's like for the whole season for the 49ers?
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah. Just a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover.
And Hopkins did look great.
Amazing. That was a career day for him in his new uniform with the Cardinals. Let's see here. I just want to get this out of the way. I am a Kyler Murray fan. I like he's a short guy. He's mobile too. I just like his ball. He's a good ball. I like the way it comes off, good spiral, all that. Good to see him connect with Larry Fitz and DeAndre Hopkins. That must be a fun offense to go and play with for sure. Let's see what else in that Cardinals game. 49ers just not looking like themselves. Kittle had a little bit of an injury. I think he had to get assisted in the locker room for a little bit.
And then Richard Sherman is going to be
also
out for 3 weeks.
That's correct.
So obviously already not looking so great in that first game, and they have some bumpy roads ahead of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so this is one we can definitely talk about. Maybe the two teams as well. We have the Buccaneers versus the Saints. Tom Brady's Buccaneers. So we have 34-23. I think we know who won this one.
I think we do know who won this one. Saints.
The Saints. And obviously, as fans, and here in Kansas City, we were rooting for the demise of Tom Brady.
Right.
And we might have saw it right there.
We might have said the beginning of the end of Tom Brady.
Tom Brady was the first person to throw a pick in 3 straight games.
Pick 6.
3 games.
Pick 6 in 3 straight games, sorry.
And
there'll be 2 interceptions that game.
2013 was the last time that happened.
That's been a while.
Yeah. Right.
And
you had that with 2 interceptions that game.
And Gronk was nowhere. All this hype about them being back together. How many catches did Gronk have?
I know he had only 2 fantasy points against me, so that was nice to see.
He had 2 catches, 11 yards.
11 yards.
Yeah. And then, even, Chris Godwin, okay day, but you feel like him and Tom should be clicking more. But just silly mistakes by Tom.
For sure. And then Bruce Arians, if you thought Tom Brady, or if Tom Brady thought that he was going to go to somewhere that head coach was going to be a little more forgiving, he was sorely mistaken, because Bruce Arians was not about to take the blame or let anybody else take the blame for those 2 interceptions, those boneheaded.
Dude from Guess Who game.
Laying it on thick on old Tommy. Saints looking like the Saints, like the super Saints. Alvin Kamara just running roughshod through that Bucs defense.
That NFC title game will be the
Mike Thomas also injured. It's kind of scary for the Saints there. Michael Thomas rather is injured.
Yep.
Might be miss a couple weeks. They thought it was going to be a little bit, maybe a minor injury. Turns out a little bit more severe than they would have thought. Jared Cook had a good day. He was their leading receiver. 5 receptions with 80 yards. I didn't start him in fantasy this week, but I definitely will.
And then Taysom Hill continuing to be a huge tool for that team.
I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, he could do anything.
Any team in the NFL would like to have a guy like Taysom Hill.
So let's actually talk about these 2 teams. First, I want to get into the Buccaneers, obviously, with Tom Brady now. Miles, I'll let you go. What do you think? First off, how do you think the Buccaneers are going to do straight?
I don't think the Buccaneers are going to make the playoffs this year.
Not going to make the playoffs.
100%. I don't
even
think,
with the 7th team added.
Even with the 7th team added. Yeah, good point. Ben, I almost forgot about that. But yeah, even with that fact, not gonna make the playoffs in my mind. Just too many things. It's a new playbook. First new playbook Tom Brady's had to learn in a long time. They did not have a preseason. They did not have a training camp to gel. They're definitely going to have to learn as they go, and that might not be something that, and you can see an emotional Tom Brady, not something that is foreign to us, but...
Yep. And there were teams in that division that obviously clicked more on Sunday.
Panthers.
Yep, Panthers, even though they lost, they obviously clicked more than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It'll be a very competitive
Yeah, I think
division.
it's going to be a shit team.
I think it's something to see. Tom Brady is actually in a real division now, and we'll see how that pans out. So
right.
It's exciting to see.
Right, not having a defense that can save your games.
Exactly.
Have you do those unreal comebacks. So what do we think about the Saints?
I think they're favorites to win the NFC. I think they might face us in the Super Bowl. Either them or the Green Bay Packers. They look really, really strong too.
Yep.
But Saints or Packers,
Yep.
I think.
It's early to make
Packers
those calls,
really
but
solid.
obviously,
Yeah.
obviously
They have their stuff together. They didn't need a preseason or a training camp.
Yep.
They had a lot of transfer over guys too. They had a lot of guys coming back from last season, so it wasn't a big learning period.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So
Sunday night's game, Sunday Night Football.
We got the Dallas Cowboys versus the Los Angeles Rams. 17-20.
Not so terribly exciting game.
Right, Rams pulling off of this one, winning by 3 today. What do we have here?
I was excited. First off, I just want to say those Rams uniforms are the worst in the league right now. I mean, all three of them, home, away, and alternate.
Oh yeah,
Doesn't look good.
I don't like the logo.
I love their stadium though.
The stadium is amazing. I can't believe they don't have people that can sit in there right now. They can't fill that up.
It's crazy to see. It must be really, really tough for them Los Angeles quote unquote fans to watch their own stadium that they built that just to watch it on TV.
And that thing is huge. Is that like the highest capacity stadium?
Maybe not capacity, but it is definitely by far the most expensive. $5 billion or in excess of $5 billion.
Jesus.
It's actually 100 feet.
I think the Cowboys stadium might hold the most people.
Yeah. It's a big one. It's actually 100 feet underground, the field, because the LAX airport is right overhead, and they had trouble planes flying. It would have been too close. So, in the middle of construction, they actually had to dig 100 feet under the ground. So you can enter the stadium, and then it's under it. You go down to a set of stadium.
Too high.
So we'll see. In Denver, the altitude is high, so the ball floats. We'll see if around Los Angeles, it's around sea level. So 100 feet below sea level, is that ball gonna be a little heavier?
I mean, you'd imagine.
We'll see.
By
Good
some
game.
percentile.
17-20. It was a close game.
Jared Goff had a good game.
Looked good. Ezekiel Elliott was just, vintage Zeke. Debuted the new tattoo of "Feed Me." They're not going away from that strategy anytime soon. Dallas. It looked like a vintage Dallas Cowboys game. Just little mistakes in the end. That's definitely going to cost you. Penalties on defense are definitely gonna affect the outcome of that game. I like to see Mike McCarthy, as their head coach. I think that'll be a good fit down there, but I don't see them making any noise in the playoffs. They might win the division, but I don't think they're gonna go very far.
All right, let's get into our Monday night game. So we have the Steelers versus the Giants. Steelers pulling this off 26-16. What do we think of it, guys?
I think the first thing we have to talk about is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, for sure.
What was it? 6
He
yards?
was held to 6.
Let's actually see. Okay.
6 rushing yards. Unbelievable.
6 yards, and I do believe that
6 yards.
Ben Roethlisberger on the Steelers had more rushing
He had
yards.
9. Yeah.
So very embarrassing day.
That's insane.
Just unbelievable defense.
You're not hearing a teen after the 6.
And that's on
teen. You're hearing a 6.
And that's on 15 carries, ladies and gentlemen. That's on 15 carries.
Plenty of attempts.
He had a fine day in receiving. He did have 60 yards in receiving. But that's not what he's there to do.
Danny Dimes had an okay day. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He basically a wash. 279 passing yards. Chase Claypool, the rookie out of Notre Dame for the Steelers, had an amazing catch in this game. Toe tap, swag all the way.
Yep.
Very, very nice catch.
Yep.
Juju Smith-Schuster leading them in receiving with 69 yards, 6 receptions, 2 touchdowns for him. He had a cool celebration going up to the old pylon cam, giving it the what's up. It was an exciting game. New York falling in this one, as we know.
Is Daniel Jones the answer for it?
We'll
New
see.
York?
I think he has some things to learn. Clearly, just little mistakes, but I think he's got.
It's a young team.
The
Stars, all the stars are.
I'd like
young.
to see how the average age of the players on that team.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that statistic because they are a young team, like you said. It was a good game. Ben Roethlisberger coming off that season last year, he missed a lot of time, elbow injury. Looking like vintage Roethlisberger, 3 touchdowns. Good game.
Yep. And last game.
Our last game today is going to be the Titans versus the Broncos.
Monday night.
16-14.
Madness. I had the pleasure of watching this game as a Chiefs fan. It's always good to see the Broncos lose. Unbelievable game, I will just say, in a lot
Gostkowski is a
of
system kicker.
Yeah, system kicker. Old Stephen Gostkowski.
I mean, what is up with that? Could that possibly ever happen?
So, as we know, Stephen Gostkowski misses 4 kicks, 3 field goals, 1 extra point, and then ends up getting the game-winning field goal. I think it almost had to come down to that, boys, for him to keep his job. If he would have just missed 4 kicks and then
took a sock off.
If he misses 4 kicks and the Titans go score a touchdown, he's probably jobless.
Yeah. Did you see that he took his sock off?
It might have been the answer. He might go sockless the rest of the year.
He said he would have taken his pants off. Taken his pants off if it was the answer.
Broncos defense looking pedestrian without
obviously missing
Von Miller. It's a big piece out of that defense.
Yep.
New additions for the Broncos defense. Jarrell Casey from Tennessee, whom they played in that game, had a pretty big game. Shelby Ryan had a blocked field goal, one of the missed kicks by Gostkowski in that game. Relatively low scoring, but super exciting game. You always like to see Denver go down in a heartbreaker that will break the spirits of old Broncos fans.
Absolutely.
Definitely a good outcome of the game. Good for the Kansas City. So they were the only team actually in the AFC West to lose this week. So
not a great weekend in terms of that, but
we look to make
see what happens.
We have a divisional game coming up, so that's exciting.
Overall, great week 1.
I had a great time watching football.
Awards?
Player awards, I think top performer. I think my top performer this week has to go to Gardner Minshew. He had 1 incompletion. No one expected that coming out week 1. I don't think anyone expected the Jags to win that game, let alone him have a near perfect game. So I think he deserves that in my mind. How about you, Dave?
It's got to be Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Oh yeah.
He had a fantastic game. As we said, he's filling big shoes with that number he's got.
138 yards.
And he might be the reason that Pat Mahomes never has 5,000 pass yards ever again.
And who cares?
But
we keep winning games. That's all that matters.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go and say Russell Wilson. Just pulling another one off for the Seahawks. Obviously an explosive offense against the Atlanta Falcons this week. We have 31 and 35, 322 yards, 4 touchdowns. Obviously, I mean, you could have really asked for a better week 1 out of a quarterback.
Yeah, perfect passer rating, I believe he had in that game. How about the guys who just had a bad week? Who is the guy that just had probably the worst week in your mind?
I don't know about statistically, but I know that Tom Brady isn't having the best time right now.
He did not look like he was enjoying himself on Sunday, for sure.
Yeah, I got to go with Saquon. I know we were talking about it for a little bit there, but yeah, I'm going to keep going with Saquon. Obviously a great day, average day for receiving, but to get the ball 15 times and carry the ball 6 yards when your Saquon Barkley is not that great.
Not yet. Definitely not what you expect from him. I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift, running back for the Detroit Lions, who dropped that. That was just a perfect pass. I think my grandma could have made that catch in the end zone. It was just very uncharacteristic. He only had, I believe, 5 drops in his entire college career as a running back, so that was definitely a shocker. I don't believe he felt good after that game because I believe that was the game winner for sure. 6 seconds left on the clock.
Favorite new spot for any player?
I'm really liking Robbie Anderson in Carolina. That is just, he looks comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm Bridgewater.
Yep. I'm going to go with another receiver. Hopkins, obviously.
In Arizona. Yeah, he looks good. Any new spots? Any more new spots? I'm thinking of just notable off the bat. It's actually good to see. I was going to mention this. I was thinking about it. Aldon Smith hasn't played an NFL game in 5 years. Played his first game on Sunday night with the Cowboys. Pretty crazy to see him back in the league.
Where's he been?
I think he just had some off-field issues and just tried to make a comeback, and he's back at it, and he's had actually a pretty good game. I think he had a sack in that game and a couple tackles for sure. So that was pretty crazy to see. Week 1, overall, I had an awesome time watching Week 1 football.
Yeah, definitely.
Good
Really
week.
great
Yeah.
to be back. Great to be back.
Okay, so one thing I want to do here right now is I want to go through all of the games during week 2, and I just want to ask you guys, who we think will win.
Who our picks?
Brief
Let's do our
explanation.
picks real quick.
Yeah. Okay, so we
Lightning
have
speed. Lightning speed.
Bengals, Browns, Bengals.
Bengals taking that one for sure.
Giants, Bears, Bears.
Bears, yep, going Bears.
Bears.
Rams, Eagles. Gonna say Rams.
I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Rams.
Falcons, Cowboys. Probably say Cowboys.
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 Panthers, Buccaneers. I want to
Panthers.
say Panthers.
I'm going to go with the
Definitely.
Panthers.
Let's go Carolina.
Panthers.
49ers, Jets.
49ers get the first win of the year.
Broncos, Steelers.
Steel curtain.
Steelers.
Jaguars, Titans. Jaguars.
Titans.
Jaguars.
Lions, Packers. Packers.
Packers.
I'd like to change my last answer. The Titans. For this one, the Packers.
Okay, Bills, Dolphins.
The Bills.
The
Bills.
Yeah.
Vikings, Colts. I want to say
The
Vikings.
I'm going to go with the Colts.
All right.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Washington, Cardinals.
Washington.
It's
the
not a
great
team. Washington football team versus the Cardinals.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Hopkins is going to continue his reign.
Yeah, Washington did
Yeah, I
great
do
this
wanna-
past week, but I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
I want to say Cardinals, yeah. Ravens, Texans.
Ravens.
I'm going to go Ravens.
Ravens.
Chiefs, Chargers.
Do we even need to say Kansas City's going to win that game?
Patriots, Seahawks.
The Seahawks.
Seahawks, definitely. And then we have the Saints, Raiders. I'm going to go with the
Saints.
Saints.
Saints are going to
on
go
that
marching
one.
into Las Vegas and come out with a
The
W.
Saints.
Is that all the games? I believe
Yeah, so that's going to be all the
Games.
games for week 2. Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll see how that comes out. We'll definitely, in our next episode, we will be reviewing week 2, and that'll be what we are looking forward to.
All right. Thank you for watching Gridiron 816, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
See you later.